Looking for singles to finish your deck or collection? CCG Castle has a wide selection of cards at amazing prices. They also have tons of sealed boxes, tins, and packs as well. Use promo code EVO5 to save 5% off your next order.
What's up, guys? En here. Welcome back to Evolutionaries Gaming, and today I am happy to show you guys the very first deck profile of Sword and Shield, and that's going to be my Zacian Berserker deck. Now, Sword and Shield has just completely turned around the card game here. We have so many new mechanics, we have so many new rule changes as well. And everything is just topsy-turvy right now, and honestly, there's a lot of things I was not expecting to like, but I do like. Like Zacian V, I was not expecting to like this guy as a card, but I really like him. And the whole premise of this deck is just a metal deck, but we have one or two stuff here that's not metal. And not to mention, we are going to be testing out a lot of the new stuff from Sword and Shield base. So, not too much older stuff is going to be in here, mainly because I wanted to experiment with that a bit. So, if you guys want to like tune up this deck at all to make it more competitive for like regionals or just really big league challenges, anything like that, go ahead and do so. This is just more of a basic skeleton list here, but it's one that's really fun. And with that, guys, we go ahead and straight to our profile here. Gonna start off with our Pokemon, of course. We are gonna be running 4 copies of the new Zacian V. Now, Zacian V here is really amazing, and he just does so much. So he's a 220 V Pokemon. Same rule applies with V that it did with GX and EX. If he's knocked out, your opponent gets to take 2 prizes. That's not really too major in how this game is nowadays, but its attack and ability is really good. So its ability, Intrepid Sword. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. Once during your turn, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You get to attach any metal energy you find there onto this Pokemon, and you get to put the rest of the cards into your hand. But your turn ends after you use that ability. So basically on your first turn or two, you're just using that Intrepid Sword ability to accelerate your energy or just to draw more cards. Because one of the new rule changes is that if you go first, you can't play supporters whatsoever. So this is one of your ways to draw cards on top of that. And Brave Blade is pretty powerful. For 3 metal energy, does 230 damage, and during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. But we have ways around it, we have ways to switch around that, stuff like that. So the whole point is just to use Brave Blade for a lot of damage, hopefully one-shotting things, because even with 230, anything that's not a tag team or V Max is getting one-shotted by that already. So really good. And also on top of that, we are going to be running 1 copy of Zamazenta V. Now, Zamazenta isn't really getting too much talk right now, and that's kind of understandable. Because of its ability, Dauntless Shield, you prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon VMAX. And even though, yes, we do have some VMAX in the game right now, it's not all we have. We still have our GXs, we still have our tag teams, but don't sleep on this guy. It's just not his time yet. Because honestly, once Sun and Moon completely rotates out, we're only going to have V and VMAXs. At least I'm pretty sure. Who knows what the future holds for Sword and Shield. But at that point, Dauntless Shield will then become a much more amazing ability, and he'll become a much bigger staple. His time will come, but he is pretty fun to play right now, because there are some VMAXs out there that are getting played, like the Snorlax and the Lapras. I think some people are trying the Stonejourner, but the previous 2 are the ones that people are trying out right now, so if you're facing those, boom, into production. He also doesn't have more HP than Zacian, so he is a pretty good wall. And Assault Tackle is pretty decent. 2 metal and a colorless, does 130, and you get to discard special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So, in case you're not able to constantly switch back and forth with your Zacians from Brave Blade, you can go ahead and go into your Zamazenta and just keep using the Assault Tackle every single turn. Plus, with the Berserkers, he'll be doing quite a decent amount of damage. And one interesting thing that has changed with our metal Pokemon here is that they now have a resistance to grass, and it's minus 30. So, may not always come up, but just something pretty neat to know. And next up here, we've got our 3 copies of Galarian Meowth, along with our 3 copies of Galarian Berserker. Now, Berserker is going to be what's boosting up our damage here. So we just have to evolve on top of the Galarian Meowth. And it's all for Steely Spirit. States that your metal Pokemon attacks do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So Basically, this 230 becomes a 250 with just one out here. Two of them is 270, which is one-shotting quite a few things. Matter of fact, that one-shots most Tag Team GXs. There's a few that doesn't one-shot, but 270 will get the majority of them. And if you're able to if you are able to get 3 of them out, not the most likely situation, but it can happen. That is going to be a total of 300 damage you're doing right there, which is knocking out. Actually, no, wait, did I do my math wrong? 50, 70. Okay, 290. I'm sorry, 290, which is one-shotting everything that is not a VMAX. So that is insanely awesome. And not to mention, just look at him. He looks like he's ready for battle. I mean, he is the Viking Pokemon after all. So yeah, oof. All right, so we got a couple more Pokemon here. I am going to be trying out the new Oranguru here that we got from the set. Offer Primitive Wisdom. Once during your turn, you may switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. So basically, if you have this one card that's like, oh, this is useless, I need to get something else because this card is not going to help me, you have a chance to get something that will help you with the Oranguru. And also, last but not least, for our Pokemon, we are going to be running 2 copies of Dedenne GX. Dedenne Charge is really amazing, especially right now. Sorry about that cut, guys. Poor dog just wouldn't stop. So Dedenne Change, as I was saying, is a really amazing ability because once you bench this, you discard your hand, draw 6 cards, but you can't use Dedenne Change again for the rest of the turn. Especially if you go first and you're not able to use your supporters whatsoever. This is another really good way on top of your Zacian V just to dig in your deck for more cards turn 1. So really, really awesome. And that's going to do it for our line of Pokemon. Now we're going to get straight to our trainers. And starting with, it's going to be 4 copies of the brand new Professor's Research, Professor Magnolia. So what this Professor's Research states is that you get to discard your hand and draw 7. So it's another, basically, Sycamore Juniper. And it's named Professor's Research because it was told that we are going to be getting other cards with this name here, but a different sub-name in the back over here. So there are going to be more Professor's Research cards to come, that much we do know for sure. And I believe the rule states that even though if they would do different effects, you could only play 4 copies of the Professor's Research, but I could be wrong on that. But still really good to have that draw supported back. Being able to pitch and draw 7, very much missed. And we are going to be playing 3 copies of Marnie. Now, this is also a very interesting supporter as well. Each player shuffles their hand to their deck. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it in the bottom of their deck. If either player puts any cards at the bottom of their deck this way, you draw 5 cards and your opponent gets to draw 4 cards. So in a way, it can be used to sort of hand control your opponents, especially if they have a really big hand. But drawing 5 cards isn't the best, so I would use it only to disrupt your opponent or if you really need to draw. I mean, drawing 5 in general isn't bad, but there are other ways to draw more cards. But still very interesting and very good overall. I apologize, guys. This dog won't stop. And we are going to be running 1 copy of Rosa here, just because she's a very interesting card as well. You can play this card if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Get to search your deck for a Pokemon, trainer, and a basic energy card, and add them all to your hand. So very, very good as a backup plan in case, realistically, if one of your Berserkers gets knocked out because your opponent will be trying to get these, or say an Oranguru, because these don't have too much HP, but it is also possible for your Zacian and Zamazenta to get knocked out as well. So it's kind of a backup plan in case any of those get knocked out, and able just to almost completely reset. And depending on what you get, you can just completely load up another Zacian with that, and just keep hitting them again for that 230. Alright, that does it for the supporters. Now for our our items, we have 4 copies of Quick Ball. Really, really great card that we got from the set. You pitch 1 card from your hand, and you get to search your deck for a basic Pokemon and add it to your hand. So this pretty much gets us everything except our Galarian Berserkers. So it gets our Meows, Orangurus, Zacian, Zamazenta, and our Dedennes as well. So really, really nice. And speaking of really, really nice cards for the deck, we also have our 4 copies of Metal Saucer. Yes, Metal finally has their own patch card. So you play this item, you attach a Metal Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Metal Pokemon. Dark Patch completely made Dark Pokemon meta, And Aqua Patch made Water a really good rogue deck. So Metal Saucer, it's gonna see its time. Now Metal in general, I want to say, is gonna be a little bit tricky to play because as long as we have Welder, there will be Fire. But we do have a few ways around that. We also do have our 3 copies of Pokegear 3.0. You look at your top 7 for a supporter and add it to your hand. So it searches all these right here. And on top of the Quick Ball, we do also have 2 copies of Evolution Incense. Now this is to search our Galarian Berserkers. As I said, this is the only Pokemon that our Quick Ball won't search. And we do need ways to get our Galarian Berserkers. So the Incense will do it. You just search for an evolution and add it to your hand. Really like that. Like, you don't have to like pitch or look at the top 7 or anything like that. You just play 1 item to search it. Really, really cool. I am going to be playing 2 copies here of Vitality Band. This is a bit more of my personal choice. Not everyone's really playing this card, but I think it would be really good because it helps get your Zacian from a 270 to a 280. Because as I said, realistically, you should have 2 Galarian Berserkers out. So that puts him at 270, and a Vitality Band puts him at 280, which is going to one-shot a lot of those really big tag teams out there, like the Arceus tag team and stuff like that. In case you do see it every now and then. What's another one that's 280? I mean, I know there's a couple more that is 280 HP, but I know that the Arceus Dialga Palkia is the biggest one. And 2 Berserkers plus this, you are going to go ahead and one-shot that. And that's 3 prizes right there. But if you guys don't want to play Vitality Band, there are other cards you can play as well. Again, Vitality Band was just a bit more of my personal choice that one to play. Next up here is Air Balloon, which I do believe you should be playing. So what Air Balloon does is the retreat cost of the Pokemon this card's attached to is 2 less. So it makes pretty much everything here for retreat. It makes your Zacian for retreat, makes Zamazenta for retreat, makes your Galarian Berserker for retreat, Oranguru. It literally makes everything for retreat. And that's most important with your Zacian, because you want to be going back and forth with Brave Blades, because he won't be able to attack after his first one. So you just want to be able to switch back and forth every single turn with it, and Air Balloon's going to help you do that. And another way that we're going to be switching out everything is with, of course, 4 copies of Switch. It's very self-explanatory. You switch your active with one on your bench. Nothing more to say. It's been around since basically base sets, and to my knowledge, this card has never been rotated. So, very, very standard stuff here. And let me go ahead and move this all aside. We do have more trainers. Let me just go ahead and clear off the mat here. We only got a couple trainers left. We've got 2 copies of Ordinary Rod. I actually really like this card. You get to choose one or both. Shovel up to 2 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. And you get to shovel up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into deck. You get to do one of each or both. I was kind of weirded out at first why they gave you the option here, but then I realized, okay, you need to be able to like meet the requirements. So if it didn't say choose one or both, then you would have to have at least 1 or 2 Pokemon and at least 1 or 2 basic energy. So this way it makes it a little easier to play. So really cool card out overall. And 2 more items here are one of those. I have 1 Great Catcher and 1 Reset Stamp. Reset Stamp just shovels your opponent's hand, they draw for each prize, and as I said, if depending on the hand control situation or if they like really ahead of the game, that could go ahead and severely cripple them. And the 1 Great Catcher is that even though yes, we have Vs and VMAXs now, GXs are still going to be a huge part of the game. So a Great Catcher should be able to grab one from the bench and hopefully be able to one-shot it with the Zacian. Now, you guys can run more of these if you want. You can go ahead and just not even run Great Catcher and just run the Custom Catcher, because I know that's what a lot of people are doing now. Matter of fact, if you did want to go with that, you could go ahead and take out 2 Vitality Bands, and you could go ahead and either take out an Air Balloon or Switch, even though I personally would not recommend that. I'm just saying it's optional. You could take out the Rosa if you want for that. But that's not what I chose to do for mine, but I'm just letting you guys know that if you did want to go that route, those are just some ideal cards that you can take out for that. And last but not least, we're going with our energy here. So we have 3, 6, 9, 10 basic metal energy, just for our Intemperate Sword to be able, just to increase our chance for Intemperate Sword to get metal energy. And we are going to be running 2 copies of Weakness Guard energy. It's a colorless energy that makes your Pokemon have no weakness as long as that's attached to it. Because as I said, guys, fire is still very much a thing. So want to protect them with that. You could go ahead and also use the metal frying pan if you want, because that gets rid of weakness and reduces his damage by 30. But I just really like the weakness guard energy. But you definitely do not have to run weakness guard whatsoever. That's just my personal choice. Alright guys, so this has been my very first Sword and Shield deck profile. Let me know if you guys want more of these coming. Do you miss the overtop view like this, or would you want me to go back to PTCGO? Because one thing to keep in mind for both is that I am limited to the cards I do have. So this time I went with the overhead because I really don't have the cards online. But go figure, IRL we have them, which normally isn't the case. It's normally the opposite. But let me guys know, let me know which one you prefer. And I apologize for getting tongue-tied so much. And with that, guys, if you enjoyed this video here, be sure to smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like, comment down below. Yeah, this looks weird overhead, I'm sorry. And stick around, guys, because not only are we going to have Pokemon deck profiles, but I'm going to be introducing Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles as well. Matter of fact, next Thursday we will be having our very first Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile here, and it's going to be my Shaddoll deck profile. So, for those of you who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or want to see a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, definitely don't want to miss that. So, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.